I've done a load of this hedge, but now I've got to this, which is a big old coppice alder stump, and I need to sort it out. Wasn't entirely sure what to do with it, and then I've been thinking, I mean, what is the purpose of this hedge anyway? So it's not to look pretty, you know, it's not to be stock proof at the moment because there's a fence either side and a ditch and a road. So I'm sort of doing it for the wildlife. It's going to let some light into this woodland on that side, hopefully get a bit of regeneration in there. It's a corridor for wildlife to go along, a habitat in its own right. You know, we want some biodiversity, so we've left a load of these hedgerow trees, so I'm certainly going to be leaving a few of these as hedgerow trees. There's a rowan here. We'll leave that because it's got some nice berries on it which might seed into the woodland on the other side. And then I was thinking about leaving some deadwood in here as well as habitat, so I shall have a go and see what happens. So what I did with it was I laid this one. It was the only one that was low enough to be laid, and it's gone downhill. It's not great, but then on this side I've taken them all off because I don't want them leaning over the road. There's a fibre cable going along the road as well. I've left the middle ones, they're going to be some hedgerow trees, and then on this side a bit of deadwood habitat. I've ring barked this one. I've cut these ones off up here as stumps, and I've drilled some holes in them as roosts for birds and stuff. These ones, it might grow back around it and you'll have a hollow in the tree, an artificial hollow, and this one because I've ring barked it, it'll just rot and it'll fall sometime, but it'll go into the field away from the road, so it's safe. Yeah, and then I'll carry on with the hedge laying. I know my camera work's a bit shaky. I haven't got a tripod or a GoPro, but I thought it might be quite fun to try and make one out of this bit of wood. We'll see. There we go, done. It only took a minute. It's not very good, but it works. If you imagine that bit of ash with the polypores on it is the camera, it just sits on top and you tie the strap round. Right, let's try this tripod, see if it shakes. I've been reading about how to make artificial bat roosts in trees with a saw, so I might give that a go. There you go, 3 plunge cuts going up. It's all hollow inside there, there's enough room for a pipistrelle or something. Yeah, and then you take the bark off here to stop it callousing over. That's it really, it's really simple. Don't know if it'll work, it should be higher up in the tree, but it was fun trying and it only took a minute. I've got this thing poking out the hedge I've been using for splitting rods, for making hurdles. Normally I just chop it down to make it tidy, but it's not in the way, poking out the hedge, and I thought, a bit of an experiment, I'd drill loads of little holes in it and leave it here and see what happens to it over the next couple of years. I'm hoping loads of bugs and stuff will move into this habitat here. Anyway, it's just an experiment, we'll see. I found this on the floor down there, rotten branches snapped off in the road and someone had chopped it up for firewood. But I'm going to use it to make some kind of hedgehog house because they're not doing well at the moment, and I've got a couple of bits of rings here from something else I was doing, so it's as simple as that. Nail it on and it's a little house. I'm going to do that now. There you go, not the prettiest house in the world. I had to use some fencing staples. I didn't have any little nails or screws, so it split a bit, but it's solid. And yeah, I'll go and shove it in a habitat pile somewhere. There it is in this pile. I'm making hurdles here, so I'll throw all the brash on top of that when I've finished. And yeah, you won't even know the hedgehog house is there. So you can have loads of stuff to put on top of it. I cut a hole into the top of this stump a few years ago. It worked as a like a bird bath for years. The birds went in it. Anyway, it's rotted out at the bottom now and gone over at an angle, so it's all drained. But the stuff's starting to germinate in there. It's sycamore or something, some other seeds. Yeah, it doesn't take long, but it helps life take hold in the stump. I finished laying my hedge, but there's a bit of brash left over, and I've decided to make sort of a dead hedge into these woods to join up the hedge with this stream, sort of joining the two bits of habitat. I might as well use the brash. someone's already piled a load of sticks in here anyway, so it's sort of getting there. Anyway, I'll give that a go now. So you can see where I've extended the hedge. You can see the pleaches over there. This bit here is all dead hedge. Well, pretty much all. I've laid the odd bit into it, and I'm going to make it into a living hedge by cutting some willow from over there and putting them in as the stakes, and they should root because it's really wet in here. Yeah, that's it. The idea is to link up the habitats. There's a stream at the other end of this hedge and there's a stream next to me here, so to link them together. So I'm going to go and get some willow. This is what I'm after, some nice willow. That would be good for cutting a stake. I'll show you this, it's really cool. This tree's fallen over and the branch has gone into the ground there and it's acted like a stake. Yeah, and it's sort of created this living hedge. It makes me wonder if that's how our ancestors figured out how to lay hedges, you know, observing nature. I'm going to cut my willow stakes from in here. It's under these power lines and the utilities come through here and coppice it every few years. So there's loads of coppice willow in here. There we go, I've got a load of willow stakes and I'll start pushing them in. Job done. And for the sake of a couple of hours, that's quite a nice little habitat corridor, wildlife corridor to join the stream with the hedge.